Alright everyone, I just recently saw the new X-Men movie, X-Men Days of Future Past, which is obviously on my most anticipated list of 2014, as well as a sequel, or I should say prequel, to X-Men First Class, or whatever. I know the timeline may seem confusing considering it takes place after the newer X-Men movies directed by Bryan Singer, and of course the third one directed by Brett Ratner. But it's also, of course, it brings back the casting also from First Class. So, if you watch the movie, you'll get what I mean. But otherwise, the plot, yeah, because of that, it's about in the future, where giant robots that are set to annihilate mutants, of course, cause the mutants, well, actually one, Wolverine, that is, to be sent back to the past to, of course, the younger versions of the X-Men mutants themselves. So, of course, that's where you get the cast from X-Men First Class. Well, so for the most part, there were a couple of continuity issues here and there, and when I must warn, there's probably spoilers in this review, so you might want to stop watching if you don't want to get spoiled. Otherwise, yeah. Yeah, it brings back the cast, and I was questionable at first of, like, why is Xavier walking, but at least they explained that well enough, of course, because it takes place after the events of First Class, after he got shot in the spinal cord. Of course, it brings back Magneto's younger self, of course, Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, and, of course, this time around it takes place during the Vietnam, which is obviously the Cold War, and it all is involved around how, stopping Mystique of annihilating or assassinating the inventor of these robots. So I would say overall it's a very fast-paced movie. I really enjoyed it. The mutants themselves all played their great parts. The acting was very well done, as you expect. It was a little over 2 hours, but I'd say it was definitely worth it. I was skeptical of First Class, being that it was a completely new cast. I didn't think they'd be able to pull it off. But this time around, I got used to the cast of this movie, and it's great to see Bryan Singer come back as the director. I think he did great with the first two. It's a real shame that he ditched X-Men 3 to do that lousy Superman Returns movie. But I actually didn't really hate X-Men 3. It just wasn't as good as the first two, but it ties everything together so well. My only question of continuity is how Xavier is still alive. I know he came back after the third one, at the end credit scene, but he wasn't in his regular body form. But it does, like I said, if you've seen the movie, it shows a lot of the stuff that's happening in the future, and it's done so well, and it ties, like I said, all the knots together, all the loose ends. And yeah, there is actually a post-credit scene, unlike X-Men First Class, which didn't have one. This one actually does, and it's hinting a possible sequel. And should I go into great detail and spoil it here? I'll give you one name. Apocalypse. Yep. If you played X-Men Legends 2 on PSP and other console versions, yes, they are finally bringing him in. I cannot believe it, but they are. For the next movie that is set to come, I believe in 2016 or 17. I'm not 100% sure, but yes, it is going to be called X-Men Apocalypse. So that's a great hint. Definitely stay till after the credits if you haven't seen this movie, unless you go see it again or whatnot. But otherwise, yeah, sorry for the major spoilers there, but otherwise, a very enjoyable movie. If you're an X-Men fan, definitely enjoy it. A lot of action, a lot of great special effects. Yeah, I don't even know why they bother with 3D with this movie. I'm glad they skipped out on the 3D with First Class, but I don't know why they did it with this movie. I mean, they should just save the $5 and just get a bag of popcorn or something. Trust me, it's not worth it with this movie. Otherwise, great movie, definitely recommend it. My final verdict: Rockin' Wii Remote with Wii Motion Plus up and a plain Wii Remote up. Definitely worth it. So, till next time, keep watching.
Get